There are two reasons. Gorgeous! Oh boy! Couple of things regarding these knives, regarding the maintenance and the long-term use. KAI Shun knives. The review of one of those knives have already been on this channel. That's the Kiritsuke knife. And I have also bought the Santoku knife, so today we will talk about those two knives. We will not do extensive cut tests because I have done the cut test of the Kiritsuke knife and these two blades behave exactly the same, so there is no much difference there except the shape. Shape is the only substantial difference in those two knives. We'll see how it behaves with the paper just for the sake of it, and maybe you can choose whatever works for you better. This is the old Kiritsuke knife that I've done the review already on this channel, and I wanna tell you a couple of things regarding these knives, regarding the maintenance and the long-term use, because I think you ought to know them. If you have no experience with the VG-10, with KAI Shun brand in particular, there are a couple of things you should know. These knives are high maintenance. They are good, they're amazing good, they're sharp. They retain their edge for a very long time, but there are some downsides to it. First thing, it's really easy to chip those. I don't know if you can see those, but there is the chip there. You may sharpen it off, and I've done it already because I had more chips here. You may sharpen it off, but the thing is that they tend to appear. It depends what method of sharpening you use. I started sharpening those in a higher angle, and after I did that, there is less chipping happening. The tip of the knife, you can see it goes kind of that way because the edge has been taken down a little bit. And this knife has actually been a little bit wider, but because of the sharpening, it became a little bit narrower. I had to do it to remove those chips. And this tip, as you see, is bent. I don't know if you can see it, but it's bent a little. And now it just stays this way, and I tried to straighten it, but with not much luck, and I'm just afraid if I try a little bit harder, I may actually break it. Because these knives, so thing to know about them, guys, they are brittle. If you accidentally drop them on hard surface, even on wood, if you drop them on wood, or if you take something like concrete or maybe ceramic floor, there is a very good chance you may break it in half. It will definitely chip, but there is a chance it will actually break. So, or maybe a chip will be of this size, you know? I've seen that stuff happening to these knives online. So that's not something you want to have with your knives. So if you are not experienced, or for example, you want to give this knife as a present to any person that's not very experienced with knives, that person will have problems because, first of all, you need some expensive sharpening stone, the whetstone, Japanese made usually. Those are expensive and those require a technique to sharpen the knife. You cannot sharpen it without technique, you have to learn it. You need to take and devote some time to it, and it will not happen from the beginning. As you see, this cloud in here. So this gray area is from the bad stone I used. I used the Taidea Chinese stone, which is not supposed to be used with this type of steel. It's too rough. So I tried to sharpen it and it gave me extreme scratches. So you need to use soft Japanese whetstones with these knives. And as it sounds, this is high maintenance stuff. So my mother uses this knife. Now she got used to it. Now she never drops it. She knows it may chip. So now it's fine. It works fine. It's sharp, but it hasn't been sharpened for maybe like 4 months. So let's do some tests. Let's do some paper towel. I mean, it's useless because I know it will not cut it. There's no way. Yeah, we should better cut something like the manual of my laptop. That's the only suitable paper I have at the moment, but let's do it. Let's see how it goes. You see? The thing hasn't been sharpened for 4 to 5 months and it still cuts paper. Let's see. It tears the paper, but still, nah, yeah, it depends where you do it. But as you can see, the edge retention is amazing. It's very narrow, but it's still very good and it slides through the food. So from the pure joy point of view, this knife brings a lot of joy to the owner, but also it brings a lot of pain due to high maintenance of this thing, and because this thing is being very brittle. If you think you're gonna buy this thing, it's gonna last you for a lifetime or maybe two, it may, but only if you maintain it well. So that's the only way. If you are not experienced, or if you like to hit hard surfaces with this knife like bones or ice, this thing will not last you even a year, not speaking about a lifetime. So let's get to the different one and let's see what the differences are and why I bought the Santoku knife. So for this purpose, we will open the brand new knife that I have ordered from Amazon. We will use the old one to open the new one. And I don't even know what's inside. Who knows? Maybe the shipment was incorrect, but let's hope it's not. Okay, I really like the way Cutlery and More packages their knives, you see. I've already shown this before, but this is just an amazing way to package your knife. And right away I'll tell you the reason why I bought this knife. The reason is, this is a present. Because why would I need a Santoku when I already have a Japanese Kiritsuke, basically the same blade, just a different shape. So this is a present. So you may want to ask, why have I not bought the same knife? There are two reasons. Gorgeous! Oh boy! Wow! Sorry, I forgot what I was saying. So the reason is, this was actually on sale. It was a little bit cheaper, like $30 cheaper. So that's the first reason, because it's kind of an expensive present, you know. The other one is what I discovered. This knife is chef knife, right? It's 8-inch. And for my mother, she uses it a lot. And it turned out to be a little bit too long for regular consumer grade kitchen. So it's long, so it tends to fall from the table because purely from the size, the table is not that big. And this knife is also intended for a woman. So I considered this shape, which is a little bit 1 inch shorter, is gonna be amazing for a woman. She will enjoy it definitely. And I think it may suit her better than this 7-inch knife. As you may see, they are very similar, same blade, except this one a little bit more traditional European style, a little bit shorter and cheaper. So that's the reason I bought this knife. Right now we will cut some paper, but I know it will just slide through it. I know it. I mean, this type of, you see, it's a razor. That is a razor. I have actually shaved with this blade before. This is unspeakable. This is not like the ZDP 189, but this is the VG-10 sharpened to the perfection from the factory. You see, you may do it very slowly, and it still goes. Gorgeous. The paper towel. This thing is soft, so I have doubts. Well, let's see. Oh, not that easy, you see. Nope, paper towel. Turns out to be an impossible job for this. Now, okay, it goes if you do it really quickly. It manages it somehow. But it's not even supposed to, right? Let's fold it in half. Yep. So I'm not saying this is bad or something. I don't even own a knife that's capable of this. And is it really needed? Do you need for your knife to be able to cut paper towels? I don't think so. And even with this, you may cut your hands so bad, as I did many times with this sharpness. This is like insanely sharp, that I think it's even too sharp to be regularly used. It needs to be a little bit duller, actually. Yeah, for comfortable use, but that depends on the style and that depends on the person that uses. But yeah, it doesn't cut the napkin, the paper towel well, but does it have to? I don't think so. So I brought the measuring tape. I don't really think that's needed, but anyway, since I have it, let's check. This one is 4.7 centimeters and this one is 5, and then it goes down. This is less than 5. So this knife is a little bit narrower, considering the fact that this one has been even bigger, maybe like 2 millimeters bigger. This feels enough for me. and I'm a big person. My hands are okay, not too big, but it's balanced, amazingly balanced, but it feels good. It feels enough. The 7-inch size feels good. The 8-inch, personally, I think, and I know actually, it's very good to cut cantaloupes with this size, but personally, for most of the work I do, it's a little bit an overkill. I know that chef professionals will totally disagree with me, but I think it's very easy to dispute what size is actually better. Depends on the person, and I personally think that for women, this size will work much better, just because it's a little bit more short, and this one is like a sword mostly. It's huge and intimidating as well. So handles, I don't see much difference there, and in your hands they feel very, very, if not the same, you know, they're perfectly balanced, both of them. They do it in a way which is hard to know, right? I don't know how they balance it, because one knife is shorter, one is longer, and the handles seem to be the same. But yep, some balancing was done, and it's amazing how balanced they are, how they sit in your hand. One thing to mention, guys, when you put it on the side of your table, make sure to put full knife onto the table. If you put just a blade and you put the handle on the edge, outside of the edge, this knife will fall. It may hurt you pretty bad. It may chop your fingers off, you know, it's possible. So it happened to my mother. It fell on her leg and damaged her feet quite bad, so she had to go to the hospital. So that's the thing to be aware about, the high sharpness about these knives. Apart from that, very similar, slightly different style, but mostly same blade, feels the same, and gives me same kind of wow effect. You know, when you look at it, it's just gorgeous piece of cutlery. Amazing, beautiful. Another thing to mention regarding the size, there is this sharp edge here. You see, some people say they like it to help them in the kitchen, and it's not present here. This one is straight 90 degrees. But practically, I have damaged my fingers way too many times to like it. This is very sharp. This is as sharp as this point, and I've damaged my fingers lots of times, maybe like 5 to 6 times, really badly from this thing. So unless you have a perfect chef technique, this may be a problem. Yep, something to remember. So as the conclusion, is this something I would recommend? Yes, definitely, but it depends. If you buy it for yourself, if you're not afraid to learn, if you're not afraid to buy an expensive sharpening knife, could be half of the price of this knife or even the price of this knife. If you are willing to take those small risks, yes, this is a beautiful piece of cutlery, definitely buy it. If you want to give this knife as a present and the person does not know what a VG-10 is, he or she never used something like this before, that may not be a good idea, because due to the high maintenance, and as you may see here, this knife may and will chip. So you may see this chip here, and I had a few more here, quite big ones. So even if you use it the way it's supposed to be, you cut gently, even though it may fall, not from your fault, just may fall and may chip. So that's not a good thing about those brittle knives, but that's the price you have to pay. So that's how it works. Generally, very recommended, but you may want to think twice before you buy something like this, and the actual reason and who's going to be using it and how. Links in the description, and see you next time.